Hi. So, building and crafting a cybersecurity policy specifically to GAI or cybersecurity policy in general, right, requires a framework, a good framework. Now, framework means a lot of things to a lot of people. So, let me break this down for you specifically to the cybersecurity policy for GAI. If you're building one, you create this niche policy or a sub policy within your major cybersecurity policy. Depends on the hierarchy you want to put. I advise, because you're a separate policy initially, and eventually a year, 2 years from now, you want to merge those policies together, continue having one major policy governing the cybersecurity program in your organization. Yeah, go ahead, do so. Just make sure the components are there. Right now, it's brand new. It caught on fire November last year with ChatGPT coming on board. So is sort of justify having its niche policy. Regardless, whatever your approach may be. Both approaches will be correct, by the way. But what we need in terms of framework is making sure that all the pieces that you need on a policy is there. So, for example, you're required to have risk assessments, right? Put a bullet on risk assessments. How often you're going to do it, if you're going to do it, internal, external, what that means for you. A risk assessment, actual penetration test, actually is a scan, or actually a assessment of understanding what controls are in place and so forth. So what risk assessment means to you. It should be a bullet or a paragraph on your policy. Other areas you should cover: instant response. If something happened, is that in your policy? Or can you point to the instant response procedure if something were to happen? Access control, same way. What are you going to do? So there should be paragraphs in there what you're going to deal with. Or you could point, instead of writing there and maintaining these statements in two different documents, point to the document that statement resides. If you have a risk assessment procedure or standard, point to it. So you maintain the text in one place. That is also acceptable at the policy level. So maintaining those and having those in place. Another one that, once again, thinking outside of the cybersecurity box, what you're going to put in there in terms of legal, third-party assessment. So your third-party risk assessment, GAI comes in different forms, different shapes, and from different angles. So you will have products, or you will be purchasing products, or even consulting companies engagements that will use GAI on their end and provide you the product of it. So how are you maintaining control over that in your policy? How are you enforcing your governance over these areas? That would be also legal. How are you addressing contract negotiations and reviews, and the review of the outcome if it has anything that could put any contract violations in your organization? How are you going to address that? I would say also should be a paragraph or a bullet on your policy addressing that. Ethics the same way. How are you going to do it? Put those elements in there. Those are a must-have in there on your policy. And that will make your policy a whole lot more comprehensive.